So when most people hear Martha's Vineyard, they think money, a playground for the rich and elite. And yes, it is a place where successful people collide, but they don't just come to vacation. They come to brainstorm, to connect, and to fellowship. Here, ideas are born about uplifting communities, helping the less fortunate, and solving problems that reach far beyond this island. Even those who dismiss the vineyard are touched by what starts here. This place is alive with culture and community. Jamaican chefs share their flavors, business owners build dreams, polar bears dive into the ocean at sunrise, welcoming anyone willing to jump in. City officials map out plans for low-income housing and raise funds. And at the heart of it all, love, generosity, and joy drive everything forward. This isn't the vineyard you've heard about. This is the vineyard that belongs to everyone. Unfiltered, unexpected, and unforgettable.
Yeah.
Alright, so I usually narrate these stories alone, but this trip is different. My brother and I have been coming to Martha's Vineyard for years, and he's made a huge footprint on this island. As a managing partner of East Chop Capital, a vacation real estate firm, he's helped shape the rental market here. But more than that, he's raised his family here, built relationships here, and knows the vineyard from inside out. While I usually chase warmer climates throughout the year, he's made the vineyard his summer home. So throughout this film, you'll hear his take on what this place really means. Beyond the stereotypes, beyond the perception, down to the heart of the island. What would you say to the notion that, oh, the vineyard is bougie or the vineyard is uppity?
No, I don't think that's a fair assessment. I think everyone's here from different walks of life. If you can get here, you can get here. And I think once you're here, I don't think people really care where you come from or what you do. But I think there is a sense of if you can get here, because of just the difficulty in travel, I think once people arrive here, pretty much everyone's here just to have a good time, relax and connect and get to know each other and enjoy their experience.
There's always a barrier of cost or a barrier of price, right? And the vineyard is not cheap.
It's not cheap.
You know that, right?
Correct.
I think the visual element of it being on an island and being hard to get a slot on the boat, that adds a little bit to the exclusiveness of you got to plan this.
You have to plan this trip a year, maybe 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
From booking the house to when the ferry reservations open and getting your car slot, and even the flights. There's a short season here.
And reaching Martha's Vineyard takes a little effort, and that's part of the charm. You can fly into the vineyard from Boston, New York, or DC on airlines like JetBlue, American, or Delta. In August, round-trip fares usually range between $300 and $500, depending on when you book. Most visitors still choose the ferry, a 45-minute ride from Woods Hole that costs about $40 round-trip. All right, so one of the first things that I always do when I come on the island is I hit up this spot called Net Result. They have some of the best fried seafood on the island. And Net Result has to be the heartbeat of the vineyard, always serving the day's catch. You can grab it raw to take home or order one of those signature fried boxes cooked right on the spot. I'm talking shrimp, clams, oysters, scallops, you name it. It's no frills, no shortcuts, but it's just perfect. Crispy seafood flavor the island's known for. And next up on my favorite food spots is Larson's Fish Market in Menimsha. This is where everybody comes to watch the sunset. All right, so right now I'm pulling up on Menimsha Harbor, and this is where like most families, groups of friends, everybody comes out to watch the sunset here on Martha's Vineyard. You can get like fresh lobster, you can get lobster rolls. It's kind of like a big event. Everybody just gets some chairs out, grabs a spot on the sand, and watches the sunset. And if you're visiting, it is an absolute must-do. It's one of the most iconic seafood spots on the island with views of all the fishing boats, nets, and lobster cages right in plain sight. All right, what did you get?
I got 2 lobster rolls, 1 lobster bisque, and 1 clam chowder.
We learned from our mistake last year. She got some lobster mac and cheese from another spot. Not it. You got to go to Larson's Market. You got to get a lobster roll. Larson's. This is what it looks like. Incredible.
It's good.
Lobster falling out this thing. Clam chowder. I mean, it's fire. I've only had clam chowder from like a can.
Oh yeah?
The move here is simple. Grab a lobster roll or go all in with an order of whole lobster. Gather some friends, sit out on the beach, and just take it all in. The sky turns gold, the boats drift in, and for a few minutes, everyone stops what they're doing. And another one of my favorite things to do on the island is hit a good house party. That's where you meet people, reconnect with friends from last summer, and just vibe. The catering here is next level, and one of my favorite chefs is Chef Lacey, a Jamaican chef who brings that island flavor and energy to the vineyard. This weekend, she was throwing a tasting event, so what better time to pull up, grab a plate, and see what she's cooking up. So, I'm standing next to the wonderful Chef Lacey. She was born in Jamaica, she grew up in New York, and she's been coming to the vineyard for about 8 years. And I have to say, I've tried your food a number of times, you know that, and I'm a huge fan, and I was so happy that you agreed to let me get you on camera because your food is absolutely incredible. She brings like a Caribbean taste to the island. You know, an island that really probably doesn't have that flavor. And
authentically.
And so definitely wanted to just, you know, get you on camera, talk to you a little bit about your journey.
2020, I believe it was, during the pandemic. One of the things that was really, really lacking here was food delivery, right? Because all of the restaurants were closed and people didn't have access to get meals on the go. And so if you wanted something at home, you had to go somewhere and wait and then do the thing with the mask, and it was quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I was married at the time, and I told my husband and his coworkers that I can make food for you guys. Just simple, one little box, deliver it, drop it off. It started to spread super quickly, and then we started doing like social media posts and doing like twice a week, and it got super, super popular. Yeah, I went from like 5 plates 2 times a week to like 40 plates 2 times a week. And so one of the women that I met with, she said to me, "You need to be doing something bigger." And so she said to me, "You need to talk to India Rose." And I went to India, and India says to me, "Well, I think there's venture capital called East Chop Capital that can be able to support you maybe
Shout out East Chop Capital.
financially with your endeavor." And so I reached out to them. I asked them for some finances so I can be able to open up a brick and mortar, have my own kitchen. And they were like, "Nuh-uh, girl, that's like almost, you know, more than $500,000 in the middle of a pandemic. Like, we're not giving out any money right now.
But let's find another route."
Let's find another route.
Yeah.
So they said to me, you know, restaurants and all those things are huge overhead. So have you ever thought about being a private chef? And in that moment, Calvin and Carrington met with me, and I cooked for them one night with like 6 other people. And I mean, they were just blown away.
Yeah.
So when we were there, someone said they were looking for a chef on Facebook. And Jeremy Provost.
Jeremy.
Shout out Jeremy.
Shout out Jeremy.
Jeremy reached out to them and said, "I'm sitting with an amazing chef right now. I'll send her over to you." And I went to her house the next day. She had a 50th birthday party. She had just bought her house on the vineyard. It was the first time people were actually like getting together. And
after
gathering
the pandemic.
Pandemic. And so this is May of 2021. And after I did her event, she posted it on Facebook. Everybody knows the Inkwell page.
Yep.
And it like spread like wildfire. I mean, my summers for like 3 years were just booked back to back to back.
Amazing.
I go to Jamaica specifically in order to be able to connect more with the people there so that I can understand what I'm serving. Right?
Okay.
I want to be able to properly represent my community, especially my ancestral heritage.
That's special. So the theme is going to be about perception versus reality. A lot of people that have never come here have a perception of this. But I'm here to show you what the reality is. Like what introduced you to the vineyard, but I think you kind of covered that.
Love brought me to Martha's Vineyard. I was chasing the boy, guys.
Are you serious? Yeah? Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so love introduced you to Martha's Vineyard.
I had heard about it when I was in high school. I remember like classmates were like, "We're gonna go, you know, vacation our family's home this summer." And I remember being like, "Oh, can I come?" And they were like, "We're not friends with you." Like, "Oh, like that." And I had never, ever, ever like devoted any interest into it again.
Right.
And then when I met my ex-husband, he was working here.
Okay.
And he says to me, he's like, "Come with me for the summer." And I was like, "No, boy, I'm working at JFK. I got a good job. I don't need to come over there." And he was like, "No, come." And I came, and I was like mind blown. The immediate moment. I mean, coming from New York, people don't say hello. Right. So imagine the moment you get on the ferry, everybody's like, good morning, good morning. I'm like, what's going on over here?
You had a perception of Martha's Vineyard, right? What was your perception?
My perception was just, right, it's lavish, it's luxurious, it's bougie. I would imagine that everything would be inaccessible to someone like myself who probably doesn't have abundance of finances to disposable income. When I got here, I realized that's almost nothing that's like
Nothing. It's not true at all. Yeah.
There's such a big sense of community regardless of income, right? Like regardless if you're the lowest wage, highest wage, people kind of come together and they love on each other every day. I mean, I got people who are 14 to people who are 65 inviting me to dinner.
Yeah.
And they want to hang out and they want to go to the pool. And it's just very much like people intentionally choosing to connect with each other here. And you don't really see that many places, right? Like your neighbor brings over cookies and like you think, oh my God, this is quaint. Are we in a movie? Right. So we're recording.
Right. The connections don't happen because of your finances. They happen because of your personality and the person that you are.
The character you have.
Character. The connections happen because of your character. I'm using that one. No, that's strong right there. I'm using that because it's absolutely true.
And you can tell she loves to cook, but sharing it with others is her true passion. The event was beautiful, full of flavor, full of life. And if you're ever on the vineyard, make sure to check out one of her tastings, because not only can she cook, her personality will have you smiling the entire night.
So everywhere I've been, they say Scotch bonnet in the Caribbean. And I swear it tastes just like a habanero.
It don't, because habaneros are not as spicy. Right? You have to remember what seeds you're using, because the seeds are what makes the difference.
Seeds are what makes the difference.
Seeds are what makes it.
So as you can see, the food scene here isn't just fried fish and lobster rolls. This is top-tier catering going on. These chefs have cooked all over the world and brought that experience right here to the vineyard. Let me introduce you to Premier Chef Services, a team that takes island dining to another level. Because yeah, you can get seafood anywhere, but here you get creativity.
The miniest mini taco. So this has flying fish roll on it.
Yep.
What else?
A little bit of like wasabi aioli.
Okay.
And then that's local big eye tuna that we kind of do like a tartare with, and we marinate it in lots of like yuzu, lime zest, lime juice, orange juice, sesame.
It's got layers. We got layers here.
Yep.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Scallops.
This is like some next level stuff in here.
That's for
Oh, is this for me?
That's for you.
A Wagyu
short rib.
Kind
of like a pot sticker
dumpling right here.
But we steam them.
This is special.
This is Jimmy James.
Jimmy James.
Jackson. So we do weddings, we do big cocktail parties and stuff like that. Like my favorite part of this company is kind of the like 10 to like 20 person, 6 courses plated with wine pairings, and we get to kind of like talk to the clients and figure out what they like, and figure out like what kind of wines they're gonna want. Keep everything local, get all the veggies we can get on the island.
Okay.
Kind of make the menus up as we go, and a lot of fresh seafood. This is my second year on the vineyard.
Okay.
Before that, I was a chef. I was actually in Iceland for 2 years.
Dude, I love Iceland. It's like the biggest party that you guys have served.
300.
300?
We did 200s this week. Yesterday was 200 change ladies.
Okay.
Today. And 2 days before that, we did 200 at the old Whaling Church.
Oh, you guys are booming then.
And you can taste the professionalism and creativity in every bite, crafted to perfection. These guys aren't just cooking food, they're making edible art. And the event they were catering wasn't just a party, it was a key fundraiser for the 2027 mayoral candidate of Columbus, Ohio, Shannon Hardin, joined by the current mayor of Cleveland, Justin Bibb. 2 rising leaders coming together on the vineyard to talk community, housing, and leadership, all over great food and even better company.
It's about your vision for public safety for Cleveland. Mm-hmm. It's about your vision to address housing in Cleveland.
And as you can see, there's nothing uptight or bougie about wanting better for your community, right? About coming together to plan, to strategize, and to make change. Like I said, everybody may not be on the vineyard, but the vineyard affects everything.
We got to do something that's like a staple here in OB. we're going to Backdoor Donuts to get some apple fritters, and these are by far the best apple fritters in the country. They're that good that people line up early for these all night. The line starts at 7 and it ends at like 1 a.m. Check out the line to pick up these donuts. So they got the cones set up. I think you gotta get in that line.
This line is
I don't think you pick up. All right, so I got the fritter, y'all. Check this out. This fritter is crazy. Look at this. I already ate some of it. Insane. You see the apples in this one. All right, I'm gonna tear this up. See y'all tomorrow. All right, so it's 7:30 in the morning, and I had to come out to Inkwell Beach because they do this special thing every summer called the polar bears. And so I wanted to share that with y'all. So every morning just after sunrise, a community gathers here at the Inkwell, the same stretch of sand that's been a symbol of joy and belonging for over 70 years. They call themselves the polar bears, and what started back in the 1940s as a safe place for black swimmers has turned into a daily ritual of prayer, fellowship, and courage. It's not about competition or even swimming. It's about connection, about starting your day grounded in gratitude and surrounded by people who've got the same purpose, to lift each other up. They begin with a few deep breaths, a few words of affirmation, and sometimes a hymn. And when that final amen hits, everybody dives in. You can hear the shock of the water, the cheers, the laughter, and you realize this isn't just tradition, it's therapy. For many of the folks who come here, this is sacred. Some have been doing it for decades. Parents, grandparents, new faces show up every year, all joined by something bigger than themselves. They call it fellowship, but really it's family. The polar bears are a reminder that the Vineyard has always been more than just a vacation spot. It's a meeting place where joy, healing, and community keep showing up day after day, one sunrise at a time. And another tradition that looks like it's here to stay is Inkwell Yoga, where every morning, just steps away from the polar bears, people gather on the sand with their mats, ready to greet the day. Some are locals, some are visitors, but for that 1 hour, everyone's connected, moving, breathing, and finding peace in the rhythm of the ocean. It's more than just yoga, it's a meditation on gratitude, the sound of the waves, the warmth of the morning sun, the feeling of community. It all blends together into something more powerful. This practice has quietly become part of Vineyard life. Led by instructor Christopher Sims since 2015, Inkwell Yoga grew from a small group of friends into a morning ritual that attracts people from all ages and all backgrounds. Okay, so I'm standing here next to a polar bear. Her name is Monica. And Monica, I saw the visuals, I saw the circles. That is truly amazing. And you've been coming here, this is your second year now.
Yes, joining the polar bears.
Okay. How did you hear about the polar bears first of all?
Well, my first experience of coming to Martha's Vineyard, you will see the iconic photograph of the polar bears, especially on Circuit Avenue. And so for me, that was like, oh, who does that? And where is that?
And have you made any like unexpected friendships?
There's a part in the circle where they ask you where you're from.
Mm-hmm.
When it's a larger group, like it was today with over 250
big,
folks, you don't have time to do that.
Right.
So when you do those moments, when you can connect, if you're from Illinois and from Illinois originally, it's those moments that I can connect with folks or see folks I've never seen before.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were on the Vineyard. Those are the unexpected moments, but the iconic instructors like Carolyn, those are, I'm just so in awe of many of these women who've been in the water, who are my elders, who are doing such a great job.
I love that. Last question. How has being a polar bear improved your Vineyard experience?
It sets the tone.
It sets the tone?
It does.
And then when you get in,
it hurts. I've done it like 2 times. Okay, so starting from right to left, who do we have here?
Tanya Watts.
Tanya Watts. Nice to meet you.
Ruth Woods.
Ruth Woods. Nice to meet you.
Sarah Logan Lyko.
Sarah
Logan Lyko.
Logan Lego.
Yes.
Nice to meet you as well. And so you said it was your first time.
My first time.
And how did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? And I know that I'll do it again next year. We already have a house for next year.
Yep.
So I'm going to encourage the people in the house
To come and join you, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it a great way to start your day?
It really is.
Right? It's like an ice bath in the morning.
It's like, in addition to that, it was like this like sisterhood, this spiritual kind of feeling, you know.
That's the
it
best
was like, that
So how did you hear about it?
I've always heard about it. I don't know how, but it's like something you always knew was a part of Martha's Vineyard.
Right. And so this is your second time, right?
Yeah.
What was your first time like?
The first time, I didn't know what to expect. It was, to me, it was very, very spiritual. There was one point where we're all looking out at the ocean, and just to listen to the sounds of the ocean and the peace that is brought into the whole situation. It just made it was a very calming, a very poignant moment of just thinking about your ancestors, thinking about, the people who paved the way for us African Americans.
Yep.
So it just
kind of felt like connected a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. There was that connection. I could hear people sniffing, and then I saw tears. I was crying. Yeah. It was just very, very, very special.
It's special.
Exactly.
And so how do you feel right now, knowing that you have a beautiful day ahead of you, doing this first thing in the morning?
I feel like I've already accomplished something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already accomplished, it wasn't even like a bucket list, but it was a bucket list.
Right.
Now it's added to my bucket list.
I love that. Well, guys, what stood out to you about the Black presence and culture here on the Vineyard?
Well, I think the history here is just magnificent. Charles and Henrietta Shear created the Shearer Cottage, and that is just where folks were allowed to stay and allowed to enjoy vacations here during the summer months, and that has grown into really a significant business for vacation short-term rentals here on the island. And now there's several homeowners who welcome guests the same way that cottage did in 1904. We've had several homes here, and I've had a chance to welcome folks for their first trip and their repeat trips here with their families, and as they create their own traditions here. So I think just seeing that legacy continue, it's got a lot of great history. When you think about it, like I said, 1904, one of the first inns on the island that allowed guests to stay overnight. That's rare, in any major city across the country, in the early 1900s. But to have it here in a resort community, in an island community, where there was ownership that welcomed guests, and then through the Harlem Renaissance and through other important periods of our culture, like the Civil Rights Movement, it was a place where folks came to connect and plan and strategize, but also to relax and enjoy themselves. And there's great history, and that's why it's featured in the history museums.
Like, were there any barriers to purchasing property back then?
Well, surprisingly, this is one of the few places in America where African American homeownership was encouraged. There was sections of the community where it was kind of like, hey, this is where there's opportunity for y'all to stay here, work here. Now you look at folks who own homes here, who rent them out to other families, and then folks who actually summer here all summer. But the history started with Shearer Cottage, and then welcoming guests, and then home ownership grew quickly here in the Highlands, East Chop, and up in the Oak Bluffs area.
And just up the road from Inkwell, you'll find the Flying Horses Carousel. It's a little piece of history that's still spinning after more than a century. It was built back in 1876 and brought here from Coney Island in 1884. And believe it or not, it's the oldest carousel in the country. Kids, parents, and even grandparents line up just to grab that brass ring. A small thing, but a big memory. It's simple, it's classic, and it's part of what makes this island feel alive.
Not only do you have nice beaches, great food, you're on an island, so you have that resort-like vibe and feel. There's beautiful waters, there's boats, there's a very much a Caribbean-like vibe. But then you have the people and the events really make it special. The history here and the opportunity to really build new relationships, connect with old relationships, really makes these weeks kind of more magical than just a traditional vacation.
I'm walking to Inkwell Beach right now. It's famous Inkwell Beach here in OB, Martha's Vineyard. And the reason why I'm walking here is because my niece, 14-year-old Carmen, is throwing her first beach party. And she got used to the party atmosphere because coming up here year in, year out,
you're just around so many events, so many parties, so many things like that. So she said, let me start throwing my own. She's at that age where she has like a little bit of influence, so I'm gonna go pull up on her and see how her beach party's doing. So, this is your first party here on the Vineyard?
Yes.
You enjoy throwing parties, right?
Yes.
How's it going so far?
It's good. We
Yeah?
have music, food.
You did everything. You did like the flyers, the planning. You got like a little bit of influence on you. I like that.
Thank you.
Is this something you think you're gonna like take further?
Yes.
Yeah, I can definitely see you doing this. I'm like really proud of you doing this, and I can see it getting bigger and bigger each year. Uncle Craig in the building. Carmen, the party promoter, the influencer, the whole deal. She's on her way. We're gonna get, I don't want to embarrass you. I'm clearly embarrassing her right now.
And as you can see, the events start young here. Beach parties, good vibes, people coming together just to enjoy life. But on the Vineyard, that same spirit doesn't stop at the shoreline. It grows. So the next morning, I drove over to Edgartown to sit in on an EEI event that brings together energy regulators, CEOs, and HBCU presidents.
We need employees that reflect those customers.
This wasn't just another conference. It was real dialogue. You had leaders from companies like the Southern Company, Entergy, Duke Energy, sharing space with educators and policymakers.
As we provide this incredible service to our customers, as we do our business historically, we're also kind of the power of the community.
Figuring out how to create opportunity where it needed the most. Even members of Congress showed up. Congressman Troy Carter.
That is why partnerships between utilities and HBCUs are not just nice to have. They are strategic necessities.
Congressman Jim Clyburn, adding their voices to the conversation about inclusion, innovation, and access.
Employees that reflect those communities, and if you don't have vibrant, growing communities, our owners don't have a chance. And that's just the way it's going to work for all of us sitting up here.
And I also got a chance to attend an event hosted by the premier Mark Brandley of Nevis.
With that said, I would love to welcome the Honorable, my friend, Mark Brandley.
Why am I here? I'm here because I think that the demographic, people who come to the Vineyard, are all very similar to the people who come to Nevis and the people that want to come to Nevis.
I went to the island. We were there for a week, and I didn't see any black folks. And I said to him, how can I be here 7 days and not see anybody who looks like me? And he said, African Americans from the States don't come to Nevis. And I said, why? He said, they go to Angola, they go to Jamaica, and they don't know where Nevis is. And I was like, oh, hell no.
Who's been leading an incredible effort to draw attention to his Caribbean gem. The event was about showcasing the island's beauty and culture, and to make things even better, they gave away 4 vacation packages to help promote tourism and get more people to experience Nevis for themselves. And this is why the Vineyard is special, because who did I run into? None other than Marianne Lou Martin, owner of Janae Tamsna in Marrakesh.
This is Marianne Lou Martin, and she is the main reason why I started a YouTube page. She was the first person to give me a chance. And that YouTube video took off, so I knew I had something special, but it's because of someone special that this all started. So I have to, she's on her tippy toes right now. Yes. I'll leave the link in the description, but you have to check out the property in Marrakesh. It's absolutely stunning, and I'll share more details, but she's the reason why you guys are watching this channel right now. So shout out to you. Thank you so much. All right, so it's the last night on the Vineyard, and of course, Thursday night, second week in August, you got to go to the Uptown party. You ready for the Uptown party?
I'm ready.
You ready? She don't look ready. She don't sound ready. You ready? Well, we got the bands right here. Your first Uptown party.
First Uptown party.
Let's go. Let's get it. She's excited.
And if you know, you gotta always plan your trip around the Uptown party. It's hands down the biggest and best event on the island, and this is where everybody shows up. Locals, visitors, everybody. All coming together to celebrate basically the end of the summer season. The music's loud, the energy is high, and the vibes are unmatched.
It's a video.
People love to call Martha's Vineyard bougie, uppity, like it's just a place for the elite. But if you really spend time here, if you look past the surface, you'll see something entirely different. The island has history, generations of black families who first came here when there weren't many places that welcomed them. Folks who built something out of nothing, who created safe spaces to breathe, to rest, and to just be. And today, that legacy lives on. You'll see families reconnecting, kids playing freely, watched over by the whole community. You'll see friendships being made that'll last a lifetime. You'll see politicians sitting down with educators, business owners, and artists, all finding ways to uplift not just this community, but every community they touch. Yes, it is expensive, but most things that matter, that change lives, are an investment. And that's exactly what this place is. It's an investment in exposure, in education, in rest, in togetherness. Martha's Vineyard isn't just a summer getaway. It's a celebration of what's possible when we come together, when we pour back into each other, and when we honor those who paved the way before us.